close enough to 5:15 and everybody is here, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. Okay with you, Ray?
You're such a rebel with Mr. Getty's gone.
First item is to take roll. If you please take care of that, Ashley.
Kroger. Here. Blatt.
Here.
Peterson.
Here.
Christensen.
Here.
Rudolph. Here. Shaven.
Here.
Okay, we've all received the agenda in advance. Any questions or changes on that? You see none. I'd look for a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Motion. Motion by Peterson, second by Shaven. You take roll.
Okay. Kroger. Aye. Blatt.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Rudolph. Aye. Shaven.
Aye.
Okay, on to item 2, then the consent agenda. Don't forget to state conflicts of interest. We got that piece. Consent agenda tonight includes the minutes of the December 7th council meeting and the December 8th work session. Claims list number 1256 in the amount of $153,403.89. The expenditure and revenue reports for the month of November and the police statistical report for the month of November. Anybody have any questions on claims or anything else? Okay, seeing none, then I'll look for a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion. Second by Christensen, second by Rudolph.
Kroger. Aye. Blatt.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Rudolph. Aye. Shaven.
Motion carries. Thank you. On to item 3, then 3A, to review professional engineering services agreement with Veenster and Kim for nutrient reduction strategy report. And I believe we have the representative from that firm with us, and I'll let Gene.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening. Gene, do you want to highlight this first, or?
You bet. I'll make some opening comments, and then we have our 2 experts with the wastewater plant. Tim Gessert is there, as well as Todd Peniston with our wastewater firm. Each time our permit's renewed, we're required to complete a nutrient reduction strategy report according to the DNR and EPA. The last one was done in 2015. And with this new 5-year permit, which I think we're in year 3, is we're required to file or complete a new nutrient reduction report, strategy report. And the proposal for the services was presented in your packet, very similar to what was done in 2015. And it would be done by February 1st. And the cost of that service is $6,500. And that is a requirement from the DNR. And Todd or Tim, if you want to introduce any more comments, or they're online as well to answer any questions.
Sure. Just give you a little bit of history on that. Like Gene mentioned, back in 2015, this is something that DNR added to the city's wastewater permit, NPDES permit. And at the time, we talked back and forth with city staff and council at that point and decided how, I guess, what the best path forward was going to be. And at that time, we asked for a 30-year schedule or for compliance schedule in order to comply with the nutrient reduction strategy. That's a nationwide issue for all states and cities. But at that time, we requested a 30-year schedule to comply with that. And DNR came back and said, well, we really don't like the idea of 30. We think that's too long, but they could live with a 20-year schedule. So at this point, they basically required every 5 years that we perform this nutrient reduction report. And as a part of this the current one that we would be hired to do, we would look at some additional options for nutrient reduction. But at the end of this, it's still just basically meeting the requirement in the NPDES permit. And really the plan at this point is to not do anything as far as nutrient reduction goes, just because of basically the costs. There's several options we will be looking at. One would be if we were to expand the wastewater plant that's there now, or look at other options as far as a new plant. We would have those costs and alternatives identified within the report and the total costs associated with each of those. But at the end of it, like I mentioned, we would not be doing anything. We're not committing the city to do anything at this point. This is basically just meeting the DNR requirement that's identified in the permit. And so if Tim or Gene, if you have any additional comments or if there's any questions, I'm glad to answer those.
Do we know what the current levels are? I mean,
think that's what they have to find out for this report. Is that correct? We have checked the current levels and return those in with this report. Is that the?
Correct. We've got the monthly operation reports that Tim fills out every month for the last several years, probably going back 20 years at least. We'll look at the last 5 years and put together some graphs and charts that show where we're at historically for both total nitrogen and total phosphorus. And then we would use that to identify what type of treatment we would need to use or need to have in place with standards for both those total nitrogen and total phosphorus.
So this fee is basically just to look at the history and put together the reports for the DNR.
Correct. Because as part of that, the agreement we made with DNR in 2015 was that we were not going to be doing anything. We were just basically, unless they came down to the point where the city decided that they wanted to build a new plant or needed to build a new plant, which obviously at this point we're not looking at doing that. We would just identify the costs if that were to be one of the options that would be in the report.
So does this take into account any potential expansion of any current employers in the area?
That's one of the things we'll talk about as we put the report together. If we were going to go down the path of a new plant, we would want to obviously have an idea of what additional capacity would be built into that as for industry and as far as residential and commercial growth within the city. But yes, we would identify that as part of this report, at least best we can, as a kind of a snapshot of where we're at today. There again, we're not committing any the city's to doing anything at this point. It was just basically meeting the requirements of DNR.
Any other questions?
Before we vote on it, and I'm going to abstain since my employer is a large contributor to our wastewater plant.
Okay. Did you catch that, Gene? Okay. All right, at this time then I would ask for a motion to approve the services agreement with Veenstra and Kim for the amount of $6,500. Motion. Motion by Peterson. Second by Black.
Kroger. Aye. Black.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Rudolph. Aye.
Shaven abstains. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Todd.
All right. Goodbye. Thanks, Gene.
Item 3B then is to review the 2022 solid waste and recyclables haulers licenses, and you receive those in the packet as well.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I need to abstain.
Okay. Finching over there. Kroger. So, okay. Any questions on those from anybody? Or Gene, do you want to comment on any of these?
No, again, any solid waste haulers in Harlan, we do require them to comply with insurance requirements as well as provide a permit. That was all in your packet. I believe there are 5 total. I don't have that in front of me, but it's year over year, and that's all been updated and received.
Questions or comments? Okay, if not, then I look for a motion to approve the licenses that were presented. Did you say there were 5 of them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've only got 3 here to sign, so I'll just.
Oh, on the backside.
And I was just doing from memory. I don't have the whole packet in front of me.
Yeah. I'll get them for you, Mike.
Check those here. Oh, there's 2 there, okay. That's 2 of those. Okay, never mind, go ahead. Anybody want to make a motion to approve those licenses?
So moved.
I'll second.
Shaven with the motion and Rudolph with the second.
Black.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
Rudolph. Aye. Shaven.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to other reports. Gene, City Administrator's report. The weather update.
Hopefully you can hear me just fine still. Make it a fairly quick report because I'm sure Greg's got other stuff he needs to get off to. So
Tonight, it's everybody else tonight.
within your packet was a draft of committee assignments and liaisons. What we did for the last 2 years, we did a 2-year assignment. I think that rotation probably works quite well. And if you have any feedback or comments, Mike and I sat down and we'll put those together. Get any comments or questions, we would look to approve that the first meeting in January. Also in your packet, did highlight the fire department calls and pay for the last year's. And one item I would point out with that is there were 110 911 calls. And if you look at the total number of volunteer responses in those 110 calls, it averaged just under 11 volunteers responding per call. Again, that's a report and pay that's filed each year and approved. And just really blessed to have a great volunteer fire department. I had another note that always talk about the airport. Scott Pigsley continued to do a really fine job out there. The airport commission meeting last week, again, based upon, when you may travel down 59, it may not always look like there's a lot of activity there. Yet within our 2-hour meeting last week, there were a total of 5 planes that came in. Just, validates the use of that airport. One was coming in for business. Actually, 2 were coming in for business, and a few others. There's a breakfast group that flies in from Nebraska. They fly in individual planes and come into town and have breakfast and milk and honey. And it sounds like they've done this 3 or 4 times. So thought I'd just share that tidbit. Reminder once again that the month of January is the application period for the upper story and facade program downtown. I know we put that on the social media. Todd's helped broadcast that. Just a reminder that application period will be the month of January. And then also in the month open right now, but need to have dog licenses renewed. And that's been posted as well. And that can be done at the police department. And then we had that weather event last week. Just, hats off to all the responders, police, fire, street department really stepped in and cooperated real well. I believe, as the public knows, that the sirens did not activate in Harlan. There was a test on Thursday. It was identified it was due to a software issue, so the sirens themselves are operational. And this was also reviewed by the EMA Executive Committee last Friday morning, just ensuring that's updated and also following regular monthly tests. Other than that, that's the only highlights or updates I had, unless you have questions or comments for me.
Questions? No. Very good, Gene. Thank you very much for zooming in tonight. Okay, takes us to the mayor's report. All I would like to say tonight is we have our last meeting of the year. Is thank you all again for serving on the council, and wish you all Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. That's all I've got. So I'll ask Todd Boleen if you'd like to say a few words from the Chamber of Commerce.
Just a couple of quick items. A thank you to our sponsors, host sites, and the families who came out to enjoy the holiday gatherings we had over the past few weeks. It was great just to see everybody in person, and they were all very well attended, and we're already starting to plan and look forward to next year. So that'll be great. The Shop and Win promotion that's taking place in Shelby County right now is coming to a screeching halt as of Thursday evening. So if you haven't done it yet, get out to the businesses that are participating. For every $25 you spend, you'll receive a raffle ticket, and then we'll be drawing for some chamber gift certificates on January 3rd. And the same can be said about the discounted chamber gift certificates. Thanks to our partnership with Shelby County State Bank, you get a 10% discount up till noon on Friday, and then we'll be locking the door. So if you have some gift certificates you need, make sure you get out to us before noon on Friday. And that's it.
Thank you, Todd. Ken Weber, are you still with us and would like to say a few words from HMU?
Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Okay, yep. Few items. First of all, with regard to the storm, we did have a couple of brief outages. Both of them were due to some remaining segments of overhead line that we have. The one was on the south side of town down there along the south of the industrial, the county yard, where we had a conductor come loose, slapped into another conductor and tripped the circuit. That was probably about a 45-minute outage. And then on the west farm line going west on 44, we had the top of the pole. It was hit by lightning, had a pole fire, and So we had a short on that line that we also had to repair, but pretty minor considering the problems a lot of people around us had. As far as what's coming up at the board meeting this week, we've got our line maintenance estimate for our 69 kV line between Avoca and Harlan. So we'll be talking to the board about that one. We've also got our equipment RFP ready to go on the electric side for the raw water project. That's new electric down in the well field. And we're trying to get a jump start on that one because our expected lead time on equipment's 50 to 60 weeks. So we're trying to get that one going as quick as we can. Contractors are in town this week doing their media replacement on pressure filter number 1. And that'll finish up the bulk of the media or remediation work at the water plant. We still have to do new filters and membranes on the RO units. Currently, that's budgeted for the next fiscal year, beginning July 1. And then that should wrap everything up the water plant. Also working on budget. Capital items have been pushed off for years. We're bringing back in. So we're working on that. Hope to have a meeting with our board committee right after the first of the year. And then finally, Dar Gessert is retiring this week. And so we're going to be having a coffee for him on the 23rd. And then, let's see, wait a minute, it's 22nd, tomorrow. So anyway, we'll be having a coffee for him. And then also in relation to that retirement, we're doing a staffing review as far as current assignments and how we expect to staff moving forward. So that's it from HMU.
Any questions for Tim? Thank you much.
You bet.
Okay, at this time, I believe we have a special PowerPoint presentation by Mr. Gesser. No.
Well, he's got to fill his time
I
somehow.
don't know. So we'll table that one, I guess. Anybody got any comments or questions? Good cause. Anybody in the audience tonight? No, it's all quiet. With that, we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.